With this video, we are going to look at the question 27 from 8.1. And 8.1 is testing the difference between means, independent sigma samples, sigma 1 and sigma 2 is known. So when we look at here region 1, for region 1, we have the x1 bar value, sigma 1 and 1. For region 2, average salary is 61,000. Standard deviation is 9,250 and sample size is 42. So the question is the difference between the mean annual salaries of the statistician in region 1 and region 2 more than 7,000? To decide, you select a random sample of statisticians from each region. The results of each survey are shown to the right, and alpha is 0.10. What should you conclude? So we have the survey results from each region, and then for the 45 samples, region 1 has an average salary of 61,500. For the second region, we have the sample size 42, and the sample salary happened to be 61,000. So we're going to create a hypothesis to decide if the average salary difference between these two regions will be more than 7,000. So to answer this question, first we're going to create the null hypothesis, which is H0. So the null hypothesis is the difference between the mean salaries of statisticians in region 1 and region 2 is less than or equal to 7,000, which we can express like this in an inequality. And alternative hypothesis will be it is greater than 7,000. So it's either less than or equal to 7,000 is the null hypothesis, and this is the alternative hypothesis. Now, we're going to use two simple z-tests for the difference of means because we know the population standard deviations. So the formula for the t-statistic z is, for the test statistic z is z value will be calculated by subtracting two average values, and then subtracting delta 0 from this. And then at the bottom, we're going to need square root of sigma 1 squared over n1 plus sigma 2 squared over n2. So x1 represents the mean salary for region 1. x2 represents the mean salary in region 2. Sigma 1 is the standard deviation for region 1, and sigma 2 is the standard deviation for region 2. N1 is sample size for the first region, and 2 is the sample size for the second region. And delta 0 represents the hypothesized difference in means, which is 7,000 in this case. So when we plug in all these numbers from the question to an equation, you can either use a calculator here. Your z value will be about negative 0.261. Now, for a one-tailed test with alpha is equal to 0.10, the critical value z alpha is the z value that leaves 10% in the upper tail of the standard normal distribution. Looking this up in a z table or using a calculator, we can find 1.28. This is how we're going to find the z alpha, and then you can use this from the z table. Now, you're going to make a decision because z is greater than z alpha. Reject the null hypothesis. If z is greater than your z alpha, you're going to reject the null hypothesis. If z is less than your z alpha, you're going to fail to reject the null hypothesis. So the z value we obtained from the equation is negative 0.261, which is less than our z alpha. So we're going to fail to reject the null hypothesis. And the conclusion will be, based on this data, there is not enough, there is insufficient evidence at the 0.10 significance level to conclude that the difference between the annual salaries in these two regions are greater than 7,000. This is how we're going to handle this question.